Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm Steven, this is Nathan. Today we're going to be doing commentary over some footage that we recorded the other day. One of my friends, Aiden, came over to play his Kinnemon deck, and he wanted more practice against Smoker. Nathan decided to play against him, but Nathan hadn't played Smoker before, so this was like a good chance to A, learn the cards, and B, kind of see like what the game plan for Smoker versus Kinnemon was. And we're just going to do commentary over those games. Hopefully we can identify some mistakes that Aiden made, and then we'll be able to get back to him, give him some feedback. If you guys notice any misplays, feel free to share them in the comment section. I won't tell him that it came from you guys, so no worries. All right, well, let's jump back into it.
Sounds great.
Okay, so we got some dice rolls going on already. And, all right, that's where you want to start, with the draw, huh? No, that's everyone's least favorite part of die roll.
Oh, I see. Yes, the draw in dice rolling. Yes. All right.
It looks like Smoker won the die roll, so...
Yes, I did.
I like that you're taking ownership of the game.
I mean, I'm the one playing, so...
No, well, it's going to make me feel better if you just don't do that. That way, when I call you out on your bullshit, you don't feel personally attacked.
No, I will be personally attacked.
And then I'll be personally attacked when you attack me. All right.
Yeah, I can at least physically attack you from this vantage point. So
I think so, yeah. All right. Looks like Kinnemon has already decided to keep and is checking Facebook, so that's super important.
These are casual games. We are chilling, vibing
okay.
in the basement.
I know that you said this is a casual game. My man opened 1 Beige and 3 Apu and Okiku. I don't know how casually he's taking it. Whoa. All right. Okay, so Smoker chose to go second, which is very good. Starting out with a blocker, both teams defending super well. We drew an Ezo. So we are stacked on 2Ks this game. So he swings for 6. Sorry, I bumped the mic there. Swings for 6 first and then plays Okiku.
Seems fine.
I don't think it matters the order that you play it in. If you swing for 6, your opponent is basically going to know that you're playing Okiku next. So you're not really saving information. You could.
I think there's worlds where you could play like Searcher, Tap Searcher.
Well, actually, here's why I think what he did. No, it doesn't matter. In general, you probably do want to equip the one Dawn to the Kinnemon first and then swing, because if you're playing against life triggers, then you don't want those triggers to interact with your Okiku.
Yeah.
Here, the Akobi is going to interact with the Okiku very nicely.
And I pitch Ice Age to that.
Yeah.
The deck I was playing Ice Age, and I just don't super care for that card.
So that card's just a hard, like, minus...
It's just -5. Just give him something -5 cost.
Okay. Now, it's not a bad card. It's just very different.
It's a combo piece, and the deck just doesn't necessarily need that, I don't think.
Right. I think actually eliminating some of the redundancies in cost manipulation is important to making the deck as streamlined as possible. I know that doesn't make sense. Reducing redundancies doesn't really, add benefits, but in this, that card specifically contributes to those games where you drew the wrong half of your deck.
Sure.
And having characters that reduce cost help you, because at least you can maneuver with them in certain ways.
Yeah. Yeah, so a lot happened there. I attacked in for 7. He used blocker. He attacked me for 8. I used blocker, and then he played Okiku. This was the kind of happened there. And now we're up to a total of 6 Dawn. And you know what's really good in black at 6 Dawn?
Sakazuki. And you Kobe'd his first Okiku.
Yep.
Are you about to Sakazuki his second? Because that's kind of dirty.
I'm not. I've tricked you completely.
Okay. I trusted you.
Yeah, I believe I go for 4-mana Kuzan here. Okay. I believe is the play.
Well, let's watch and find out. I do like the Okiku play a lot. Swinging hard at your opponent's face, kind of force the block out. And then the Okiku comes down to pressure the Kobe and kind of establish board presence. I do like it a lot against Borsellino specifically.
Mm-hmm.
That card is going to be really, really hard to contest in this matchup. And you have Yamatos and you have Okikus, but the Yamatos are ETBs. The Okikus you have to establish first. So it's actually a really important turn to play that.
And I also think his hand just didn't really do anything else. It may not be an active decision here because we do know he opened with 3 Apus. So, sometimes the plays just line themselves up anyways, right?
That's super fair. And then from the smoker side, we're staring down Okiku. We know that he doesn't have probably enough done to quite kill the Borsellino if we were to play it, but instead we played the Kuzan, which kind of gets around the Okiku ability. Not technically, you can still tap it,
Yep.
but it's on the board now. Maybe it's not a high priority target, um, and you get to draw a card. So you're getting to spin your wheels a little bit, and just kind of invalidate the Okiku's strength, which is great.
Yeah, and then here, after I took my draw off the Kuzan, having 2 Dawn left, I decided that 1 7K attack was better than 2 5Ks here. I don't want to open up Kobe to just be
Sorry about the neck.
to be attacked with the Yokiku. I want him to have to tap it if that's something he wants to actually kill.
So we have
So-
Kinnemon on 7 Dawn right now, correct?
Yeah.
3, 6. The changing Dawn there got me a little bit. He drew Odin for the turn.
Yep.
So we might see an Odin come down.
Oh, I sure hope we see Odin. I think that's definitely the best play here.
Yeah, getting out in front of your opponent. You already have them at. They've taken only 1 life so far. He might take this one. Okay, he
Yeah.
did, which makes the Odin a little bit stronger here too. All right, and it's an alt art Odin, which is the strongest form.
Strikes fear in your opponent's heart.
Well, does it? We're gonna find out if fear was stricken.
Well, I'm at 8 Dawn now. You know what that means.
You have quite a bit of options. You also got your Kuzan to survive for a round, which is incredibly important when your opponent plays Odin.
Yeah.
You get to swing, make it a 4 cost. As you explained to me, the cool combo you can do between Kuzan and your Smoker Leader is swing, then use your Smoker Leader to make the Odin a 3 cost.
Yep.
Then play Kobe.
Yep.
To kill it.
Yep. There's definitely that option. There's also the option of just attack with the Kuzan, and now it's less than 6, and Sakazuki can come in and whirlwind effect. So that should be what we see here. I attacked 5K straight at the Okiku. Him pitching a card is good for me. I'm going to do it probably 2 more times this turn, attack 5K at that. So just want him to have to find answers to
trying to
pitch.
like whittle down and,
Oh,
and
yeah.
kind of embarrass him for protecting the Okiku with so many attacks open.
Yep.
That's fair. You're also not at a stage of the game where you want to whittle down his life because you are still both battling for the board here.
Exactly.
And then oh my gosh, the Sakazuki there is so beautiful. Swing with the Kuzan, reduce the Kazuki Odin down to a 4 cost. Sakazuki destroys a 5 cost after you discard a card. So you are in a beautiful position. You have a 5K, a 4K that can become a 5K very easily, and a 7K.
Yep. And you'll see another Okiku come out, which is fine, but I'll attack the other Okiku and see if he wants to still hold on to this. He's been pitching 2Ks, and now he's going to do it again.
Now, the swings for 6 there was interesting. I believe your thought process had to have been, okay, he's already lost 2Ks to this. Will he get another one?
Yeah, since I've already tapped a creature, it's now Okiku can attack any creature it wants to. It can always attack a creature. So in the world where I don't have what I wouldn't have attacked with Kuzan, he would have to figure out a way to get past that. But since he can attack with the Okiku anyways, now he's always got that option. I might as well get another card out of his hand. He's going to tap this down anyways. So let's try and get that value out.
Well, swing even is a card. Swing 1K over is a better card, and swing 2K over is a second card. So it's like 1, 1.5, and 2.
Sure.
I like the math there. That's really cool. All right, we got Raizo, Izo, and Apu, and we saw him draw a second card there. That was pointed out to us in an earlier viewing of this game. This is a casual game, so
Yes.
we're not going to hold it against him too much. And for the purposes of recording, this game is basically over there. That Sakazuki was quite brutal on the Odin. We see his hand. We know he doesn't have much of a follow-up.
Yeah. And in his draw there was Bonnie, which is probably one of the better draws. You want to find a searcher here. You're probably going to kill down most of my board, so finding the searchers to gain back and claw into this game would be the best way to do it.
Right. And if we were in competition, then we would just call over the judge and have them address that on camera there. But since we're not, that's okay. We're going to proceed with the game. It was not caught, in the moment of recording, but that's okay. Sometimes you draw your card for turn, you realize I got to think about this one for a second. You put it down, you look at it again, you're like, well, none of these are the answers. And we'll give him a hard time about that.
Yeah, he got us starts in Yu-Gi-Oh, so that's just ingrained in him. I think is to.
Every Yu-Gi-Oh player is cheating. That is not okay. That is not what I'm saying. All right, so we see 6K go. Is that going to the leader or
No,
the
6K went to Kobe, and I
6K
just
went to
let
the
Kobe.
Kobe?
Yeah,
Okay,
you just
that's
let Kobe
2K
die.
over there is nice. And now we're seeing 7 on. I would expect the Kuzan.
Yes, it's attacking the Kuzan.
Trying to whittle down the smoker's hand here.
I think the thought process here is he's attacking my creature. He probably wants
You keep saying creatures. You mean characters.
characters. Yeah, C word monster ability living in character area.
I only pointed out because both mats do say creature area.
You know, I could have thought deeper about it, but instead I'm worried about my actual plays here instead of the correct words.
Quality of the plays, not the quality of the content.
That's right. Yeah. So
Garp and a Kobe.
yeah. So
Really?
Kobe obviously is very good here, but I'm lining up next turn, dropping 10 drop on the board.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted him to commit to another attack there on that. I didn't want him to attack my life and go down to 2 if I'm dropping 10 drop. I want to make sure I can stay alive through the next turn. So forcing the other attack on the Kuzan I think was correct.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. It made him commit, more of his Don. That's going to weaken the quality of the plays that he's going to be able to make. Obviously, he has less Don to spend on the
Wow.
plays. And then you still get to untap with your Sakazuki, as well as, as you called out, you're holding 10 drop in your hand. So these are all fine.
Yep. He played a Bonnie here and searched and whiffed, which does feel bad. It would have been very nice to find either another Bonnie or a Beige there. To kind of supplant what you got going on.
Defensively, his hand is still pretty stacked. He's holding a Poo, an Ezo, and a Raizo.
Yeah.
And we see 10 drop come down. We've seen so many bombs from the Smoker player already, and Kinnemon's just kind of trying to claw back. Okay, we see 5K go on the Okiku.
Yeah, I think this is a misplay here. I think you're supposed to attack 7 on the Yokiku.
It is kind of a misplay, but if you want to kind of explain your thinking there.
Yeah, so attack 7 on Akiku, and then if he doesn't counter out of it, I would rather just swing 5K on Bonnie. This way is giving him an option of I can counter out of this one, so that 7K comes in and I keep my Bonnie.
Correct.
So killing the Bonnie would have been quite nice. Obviously, he whipped up the first one, so it's not like it's super punishing here, but that's not a way to play this.
Well, I also think that there is fundamentally a misplay on another level too. You know that the Okiku, you know exactly what it represents, which is at the moment nothing. It doesn't block. It swings for only 5K power when you're at a lot of life, and it doesn't tap down either of your characters.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of static power level. The Bonnie though is very dynamic power level, where you're not quite sure exactly what your opponent's trying to dig out for. But you know that it has the ability to look at the top cards of its deck.
Yep.
And so if you're going to try and assess, like, what should priority number 1 be, I should probably remove the thing with a dynamic threat level.
That's fair. And we did see him completely go in on the Yukiku, so it was weirdly vindicated at the end of all of this.
Yeah.
But he added 7 drop to hand here.
Yeah.
And then attacks in for 8.
8K is a strange number, but I think he's trying to test the quality of your hand.
That is possible, but I think the better play here is to just play 7 drop.
He went 8K, which is a little bit brutal. Yeah, he's still at a very high life total, so these are the turns where you can just not swing with your Okiku. You can, hold open as much as you can to try and build up a better board against the Kuzan player.
Mm-hmm.
Or against the Smoker player, you know that they've already played, double Sakazuki. Many Kobes they've discarded. They've played their 10 drop. They've got to be looking low on actual removal tools. So if you can establish big body guys, they might move your house for you.
Move my house, yes. They do have a moving company, and they would happily accept that.
They're called big-bodied characters. It's all Raizo.
All right. The adept eyes out there will notice that Sakazuki is in my hand when I drew Kuzan for turn. So play the Kuzan, see what comes out of it, decide our attacks here. I believe my thought process here, again, incorrectly, is I want a card out of his hand, so 5K attack the Yokiku to get a card out of his hand, when I should just be Kuzan swinging into the
Yeah,
Okiku.
I think what I'm seeing consistently from you in this recording is that you want to swing lowest numbers to highest numbers.
Yeah, I do
Um,
like the flexibility
and
in keeping that
I
option.
kind of like where that starts with you know, if you swing evenly on the Okiku and he kills it, then you have a huge attacker for the next swing. But I think at this point in the game you're still trying to control the board, and it just feels more correct to go, you know, what is absolutely going to do this thing that I want, and then you have your flexible
Yes.
other attackers.
There is another aspect to this too. I know his entire hand at this point. His hand is
You do,
Momo plus
yeah.
7 drop.
Hmm.
So I know one of his cards doesn't pitch, and the other card is Momo. Um, why he didn't play Momo out with his one open Dawn is a question mark. Maybe to hold up Paradise Waterfall off life, but I don't necessarily agree with that.
I don't think that was it. I think he was just worried about you being able to kill his entire board, like swinging evenly on your board, on
Mhm.
his board, because he had three of them tapped, and being able to, for free, like or with a card,
Yep.
kill also the Momo. So I think he was trying to add a layer of protection there.
Okay.
But I do think he's at the stage of the game where he needs to be efficient with his mana,
Yeah.
with his Dawn, and playing it out would have allowed him to be one mana, one Dawn more efficient.
Yep.
Yeah.
Um, and I think I had two options for a turn here. I could either have played the Sakazuki or I had a Kobe in hand at that point.
Mhm.
So either one can kill the Bonnie. I opted for Sakazuki for the better body. Also, if I have 10 drop out on the table, Kobe still is going to kill 7 drop. So there's no question there. I'd rather threaten a bit more with my board. Was the thought. Plus, if he decides this is now the turn for a giant attack on 10 drop since it's tapped, he can't play 7 drop. So we're also fine there for the turn to get in. And then once I get 2 or 3 points of life damage, 7 drop is looking a bit worse.
Right. Well, let's see what he does with his Dawn this turn. Okay. Okay. 12 probably attacking that Kuzan. Now that's a really, really disciplined attack. He knows that, hey, this is probably the only turn I have to actually make this attack.
Mhm.
And my opponent only has one card in hand, so they're not getting 2k over.
Yep.
So he made the exact right amount to remove the 10 drop threat, and that might actually clear a good way for him to claw back in this game.
Um, yep. So now that that's dead, he also drew Yamato, which was fantastic there. Curves out exactly into the mana.
Exactly
The
what
body
he needs
now.
to do, yes.
Um,
With the Kinnemon leader's ability.
Yep.
So I know one of the complaints from Kinnemon versus Kid argument is Kid has a much more relevant ability at the end of the game, where Kinnemon is that early aggression engine that like helps you establish board control. And what we just saw there was Kinnemon's ability actually being incredibly clutch in the late game. That's actually really nice to see.
Yep. You saw me here swing 7k with Kuzan. I want to start whittling his life, so 7k is the number. And then I minus for the Okiku so that I can get in for another.
The Yamato.
The Yamato, yes, I'm sorry. So I can get in for
And
another.
Oh no, another Sakazuki is so lights out.
Yeah, and even though I could have Kobe there, I drew Sakazuki, and it's just a better card. So here we are, playing another Sakazuki, probably one of the best cards in the entire deck.
Yeah. Super interesting. He drew 5-drop Yamato, so he is probably also going to be maximizing Kazuki Tokis in his deck, because since he
Yes.
has all those
Yeah, we saw him pitch Toki early in the matchup.
characters named Odin in his deck. Not incredibly relevant right now, but this is one of those games where you play as Kinnemon and every character you play, your opponent just kills it, and you go, yeah, that's the smoker matchup.
Yeah.
But it is important that he does make a couple of missequences here and there. And the game's actually still pretty close, despite, obviously on this turn it's kind of a shutout. That Sakazuki was very hard pivoting the other direction, but up until this point, I mean, the game's been pretty close.
Yep.
It's been Smoker playing a huge, enormous bomb, and then Kinnemon somehow finding a way to deal with it with very little resources.
Yeah, and we saw the big pivot turn where he dropped Odin on turn 4, right? He had 7 Dawn, was able to drop Odin, threaten that, and I just said, you know what, I'll deal with it. What comes out of it doesn't super matter.
So another thing that's really interesting too is he actually was kind of starting to pivot back to where Kinnemon was in favor, but that was because his life total was very high.
Yes.
And there was a very early on block that he made that we kind of didn't call out at the time. It was good for a few reasons, but one of the bigger ones for me is that this actually allows him the time in the late game to take a breath and deal with the board without instantly losing the game.
Yep. And he's able to choose his attack here because I'm hellbent. I got no cards in hand. So the 7K there on the creature is always free. You then can follow up with the 7 drop and hold up Paradise Waterfall. I think was an option here.
Yeah.
The down
We also kind of feel like that 7 drop should already have been established.
sure.
At this point, it's doesn't look very good.
Yeah. But with Paradise Waterfall, I know is in his deck. I'm just gonna start swinging. I believe 9Ks. Just force him to use it awkwardly, and try and get in for those last points of damage.
Yeah.
I'm out of cards, so it's not like I have any other options to really even consider.
Okay, so we do swing for 9. He takes it. That reduces the
Yep.
cost. He did look at his last life, and I think that's the concede. So, Smoker player was able to take this one. It was a really powerful sequence of removal spells that got you there. But yeah, just a really nice game overall.
Yeah.
Kind of showcases the power of both decks. Really, I mean, I know that it feels very bleak on the Kinnemon side there, but if you look at the nuances in the game, I actually think that it was a really close game. And there was a world where in the mid game there, Smoker stops drawing Sakazuki or whatever, and the game pivots really hard and fast towards the Kinnemon side. So, that's the importance of playing every single card that you have the best that you can, and just continuing to play the game even when it doesn't feel great.
Yeah.
Because you will, a lot of these games are very winnable. So, yeah. All right, but that's it from us. If you like that and you're not already subscribed to the channel, please like the video and hit subscribe for me. That just it does a lot for me. So yeah, I mean, it makes me happy. I look at that shit all the time. And it's like, yes,
Numbers go up.
numbers going up. All right, guys. Thanks for joining us. Bye.